Hi, everybody. I'm Alan Seslowsky here at RosterWatch. Recently on the RosterWatch Fantasy Football Podcast, number 229, Alex and the Trash Man talked about wide receiver threes for fantasy football. Tajae Sharpe, Breshad Perriman, and Robby Anderson were the subject of their spirited debate. Tajae Sharpe just landed in Minnesota on a one-year deal worth about $1 million. The guys were joking that Adam Schefter tweeted out that he's presumably the wide receiver 2 opposite of Adam Thielen. Tajae Sharpe was interesting to the Trash Man because he noted that he had some good runs in Tennessee. Alex obviously disagreed, and they went to the game logs. Tajae Sharpe was still preferred by RosterWatch over players like Dede Westbrook, who was one of last year's fantasy sleeper darlings. If Minnesota drafts a wide receiver of note, Trash Man noted that he would back off that stance and take another look at Tajae Sharpe. Breshad Perriman is the wide receiver who won many people fantasy championships last year. Recently signed a weird deal with the New York Jets to replace Robby Anderson, who we'll talk about in a minute. Breshad Perriman, people forget, ran a 4.28 40-yard dash at his pro day and still only 26 years old by the time the season starts. Breshad Perriman averaged over 20 fantasy points per game down the stretch and could be that number one target for the New York Jets. We are very interested at Breshad Perriman at his current ADP at 152. That's approximately the 12th round in most fantasy drafts. Lastly, the guys debated Robby Anderson. Trash Man said he always liked Robby Anderson, and Alex, of course, said, that's because you're a trash man. Robby Anderson, though, he pumped the brakes a little bit on him, the Trash Man did, because he said he doesn't trust Teddy Bridgewater to get him the football. That said, he's also going to have to compete with targets. Last year alone, DJ Moore and Christian McCaffrey ate up 40% of the total targets of the entire Panthers offense. Those are the wide receiver threes that for fantasy football that we're talking about at RosterWatch. Thanks for joining us, RosterWatch Nation. We'll see you next time.